Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome to the video. Now today's video is going to be a bit of a how-to, as I'll show you how to safely detail your engine bay. And just before we dive into things, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I always post different kinds of videos here than what you see on the main channel. So if you've got the bell on too, you won't ever miss out on one. Alright guys, so the vehicle I'm working on today is a 2013 Ford Edge that I detailed last November, and it was extremely dirty if you guys remember that video. But looking at the engine bay, and really it likely hasn't been cleaned since the vehicle was driven off the lot. And the very first thing that you'll want to do is disconnect the vehicle's battery. And one thing to note is that you always want to disconnect the negative terminal first. And once that's done, I'll spray on a very liberal amount of degreaser, making sure to cover every surface in here. And if you guys are curious as to what I'm using here, it's actually super clean degreaser that I switched to a different spray bottle. And if you've seen me do engine bay details more recently over on the main channel, you'd know that I'm using a foamer now to apply the degreaser, but I hadn't got that yet when I filmed this last year. Alright, once the degreaser is on, I'll use my soft wheel brush to agitate all the flat surfaces, basically anywhere that it will fit. And one thing to note here is that when you use degreaser, you never want to let it dry, as it can permanently stain the surface, so always try to work quickly. Then I'll grab my smaller Speedmaster brush and use it in all the tighter areas where the other brush wouldn't reach. And if you've noticed so far, this process really isn't difficult, as it generally only takes about 15 to 20 minutes from start to finish. The degreaser is really the most important aspect here, and really is doing most of the work for you. Now for any of the really tight areas like the crevices around the air filter box, I'll use a detail brush. And while I do this, I wanted to mention something in case you didn't see the community post on the main channel or the Instagram post yesterday. I've announced something I've been working on for the past 8 months, and that is the launch of my new company, detailgeekautocare, where I've created my own line of high quality detailing products. And I am super excited to finally be able to share this with you guys. And if you guys want to find out a little bit more about the company and the product line, be sure to check it out on Instagram at detailgeekautocare, as there's some info on the first couple products as we move closer to the launch date in just a couple weeks from now. Now, once everything has been agitated, I'll simply just use the hose to rinse everything off. And if anyone is worried about things getting wet, it's perfectly safe to do this, as I'm not using high pressure water, which could lead to water getting forced somewhere that it shouldn't be. Plus the fact that the alternator is already covered, and really engines these days are built and designed in a way that they can handle being wet. I wouldn't recommend taking a pressure washer to it though, but what I'm doing here is completely safe. Although if you guys are still in that no water camp, I do have a video on the main channel where I detail an engine bay with steam, APC, and a detail brush, so give that a look if you guys are interested. Now with everything rinsed, I'll grab my leaf blower to get rid of the majority of water here, but obviously this isn't a necessary step, as you can just use a few microfiber towels to do the same job, but obviously using my Husqvarna here definitely makes the job a little quicker. Next, I'll grab a towel and just quickly dry off any remaining water around the engine, and you want to make sure it's really dry so that the 303 aerospace protectant I'll be applying next can be applied to a perfectly dry surface. Okay, so the last step here is to apply a dressing to really make this engine bay pop, and for that I typically use 303 aerospace protectant or sometimes Carpro Pearl, but this time it's 303, and I'll use a microfiber applicator pad to apply it to all the black plastics and hoses in here. Here's the before and after, and it only takes 15 minutes, and boom, this engine bay is looking perfect again. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video and that you now have the confidence to tackle your own engine bay, as it really is an easy job. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos like this, enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll see you guys in the next one.